Hi, I'm Sonia with Suburban Gardening, and I grew 100 Snapdragons from the fall up until now into the winter, and I've been placing them all over the place. These pots that are behind me really need a refresh, and they need some winter interest. So I'm going to be putting out some Snapdragons. I also have some Pansies, we have some Dusty Miller, we also have some Alyssum that I think is going to really be beautiful, and I've got one Ranunculus left from a project that I had, so I'm going to put it front and center in these pots. Now the first thing I need to do is I need to get in there and clean these things out so we can put in the new interest. I think you can get a better view of what I'm going to do here, and it's really very simple. I'm just going to pop these plants down in here, and I'm going to wait for them to grow and get beautiful. First thing I need to do though is I need to get some fertilizer down in there. Now you'll notice that I left these two plants behind, and this is an ivy geranium that I grew from a seed, and this is a corton. This is like a house plant, but it just seems to love it in this environment. I'm going to go ahead and leave them here and see how they do through the winter time. They're going to also benefit from getting a little boost of food right here. So we'll see how they do. I really don't want to cut this one back because it makes the most beautiful pink flowers. So I have so many of these Snapdragons that this is going to be the main thing that I put in here. I'm really going to put quite a few of them in here because I know they can hold their own. Now I probably could have gone along and snipped these flowers off when they were just babies, when they were a little bit younger, but I really can't stand doing that. I wanted to see how beautiful they were going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and just get them down here in the dirt. Try to keep them all level. What's going to happen in the spring when these are done is that I'm going to come through and I'm going to refresh all of these pots. I'm going to empty them out completely. I'm going to save the plants that I want to keep, and then I'm going to put brand new potting soil in here and start over. These poor pansies went through quite a rainstorm and they got a little bit beat up, but they're still going to be absolutely beautiful. So we're going to put a couple of these right in the front because they're going to drape over the side of this pot and be simply gorgeous. These are a little pop out, so let's give them a little rough up like that. These are calla lily bulbs, and you can tell they have the little eyes on the top. I'm going to put a couple of these right down about 3 inches into the soil, and those will be a nice little surprise in a couple of months. I can see the little eyes right here. I usually pick off the pansy flowers if they're looking sort of bad, because they're going to make a seed pod anyways, and I want to get them off so they'll focus strictly on making flowers. This is just going to look beautiful. I am going to do this to the rest of these pods and we'll see how pretty it is. This is a great example of the mismatched plant. This is English ivy, which is absolute one of my favorites. I love English ivy. And this is a geranium that I grew from a seed. Now, normally I keep annuals in here, but the ground is so hard that I can't even get my shovel in here. So I am going to need to get this English ivy out of here completely, put it in its own pot because I still love it. It just doesn't share well. So I'm going to get that out, put in brand new potting soil, and then I'm going to put in some beautiful annuals. You can see how root bound this was. It absolutely took over the entire pot. The one really great thing about English ivy, it's so easy to propagate. And I just wanted to show you that right here, this is a clump of roots. If you cut it here and here and here, you would have 3 brand new plants. As you can see in other places, it's done the same thing. All these little joints, they grow little roots. And you can just cut that there and there, and it will make a plant as big as this one. I think these pods came out absolutely gorgeous. I love them so much. I wanted to show you a peek down in here. There is irrigation down in here. It's a drip system. So I highly recommend, if you can figure that out, it will make a huge difference on how well your plants do. And I popped quite a few bulbs down inside of these pots. They are going to come out looking so beautiful. Now, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of these plants, they weathered quite a bad little rainstorm. So they're a little weary, but they're going to come back and look beautiful. And just like this one right here is such a great example. I'm going to be deadheading that, and the rest of that plant will get stronger and get bigger and fuller and grow all kinds of beautiful flowers. This pot came out beautiful too. I also put some bulbs down in there, so they are going to be absolutely brimming. You don't need to stuff them full of 6-pack plants that you get from the nursery. You can put seeds in there, or you can put bulbs in there, and they'll pop up and look absolutely gorgeous. Now, I wanted to give you just a quick look at a big no-no that I did, and I put this agapanthus in this pot, and it has completely taken over. I can hardly get my shovel down in there. This is also a climbing geranium, which I grew from seed. It's doing quite beautiful, but try to keep plants just like these that are tender annuals. You can take them out every season and put in things that are beautiful. I think that wreath is the perfect touch to our brand new garden that we created. Now when my guests come over, they'll see beautiful flowers and that lovely wreath on the door, and I hope it just gives them a little happiness as they're coming into my house. These plants that I planted today would be considered tender annuals. They're not drought tolerant, so they're going to need to have that soil staying moist, and they're annuals, so they're not going to last through the summertime. They're going to get tired right around April, May, June, and I'll be able to come in here with some nice hardy summer plants with a whole brand new set of colors. I recommend that you find a local nursery that you can talk to, because they're going to know what's exactly right for your environment. I go to my nursery all the time and talk to the people that work there, and they're super helpful. And be sure and check the tags on the plants. They'll tell you if they need a lot of sun or if they need a lot of water, they're drought tolerant or what have you. Well, that's all the time we've got today, and there's a lot more to talk about. So thanks for stopping by, you guys, and I'll see you next time.